So if you're new to my channel, you're gonna learn really quickly that the best parts of my videos are usually towards the end where I really get worked up and I start bringing receipts to back up what I'm saying. So sit down, get a cup of coffee, or turn me on while you're driving. But if you leave early, you miss the best part. Hey everybody, welcome back to Starkey Farmstead. So my name is Samantha, and I want to explain something to you. Why do you see me dressed like this in so many of my videos? Let me tell you why. I run a 2-acre farmstead, right? So my husband works right down the road for a ministry, and I do this and this, and I spend a great deal of my day in the hot sun, sweating profusely. Like, I'm in South Louisiana. Sweating is my game. I have a lot of sweat equity in my property. I always say that. My property is beautiful because I'm not sitting inside in the AC. I'm physically outside working to better my property. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys an update. So I've had a lot of people say, wow, your information is so great. I'd love to see you behind a microphone all dressed up. Who has time for that? Like, I have a different life, a life that I chose for myself, a life the Lord put me on. And, you know, so that's why Sam occasionally does not have makeup on. You know, I'm out here sweating, my hair's all crazy, because I'm making videos for you, sharing knowledge with you while I'm doing my actual job, okay? Now, I just feel like I have to share this with you guys. I saw a gentleman just now that said, wait a second. We can literally get rid of gender. Like, we can get rid of gender. Gender's not a thing anymore, right? And that's confusing everybody so badly. But why can't we get rid of race? Why can't we all just be human? Right? So watch what he has to say.
They want to cancel gender, y'all. Yeah. Why not cancel race? Yeah. Instead of canceling gender, why not cancel race? No more black, white, yellow, brown. Just be human race. Canceling gender just causes confusion, but canceling race would cause unity.
Like, when you hear truth, when you really hear it, it resonates with your soul. Like, it makes so much sense when you look at what the Democrats have done to America in the past 20 years, the nonsense. Everybody's confused about what gender you are, and we're more racially divided than we've been in 160 years. Yet we're supposed to believe that all that is organic. None of that is organic, folks. That is all by design. So, folks, I really need your help. YouTube demonetized me. Another 2 weeks to go, and we can fight for our money to be back. But until then, please think about us when you're thinking about giving, even if you just give $1. Now, I know what you're going to say, Sam, I can't support everybody I listen to. Well, some of those people are still being paid. If they have more than 500,000 subscribers, even if YouTube takes their money, they have people that take out ads and they sell products. I can't do either of those. So think about us small people sometimes.
That was the nature of colonialism. And then our people ended up in a situation whereby they were forced now to go and work. That land, what it did, 65 to 67% of the population of South Africa was allocated to only 7% of the land of South Africa.
Let me just bring our global audience into perspective here. The Native Lands Act is what basically was aligned with apartheid. Black and people of color could not own land. And so before we go on so deep into history, you've taken us back to the 17th century. Yes. In that case, shouldn't everybody leave the property to the Khoisan, who are thought to be the native occupants of South Africa?
No, actually, Africa and South Africa, it belongs to the Bantu people. It belongs to the Ngunis.
I should move to South Africa, folks, because I am 2% Bantu.
So it belongs to the people of Africa.
What about Tavi here?
We are not saying it doesn't belong here. Now that we are living together here, our perspective is that the land must go back to the chiefs, the traditional leaders, and the state. We are unapologetic about this. Mm-hmm. Land must be expropriated without compensation.
That, my friend, was a demonstration of a true journalist. He starts spewing his opinion, taking her through the last 450 years of history in South Africa to make his point. And she asked one question: Well, then if that's how you feel, shouldn't the land go back to the original South Africans? And he immediately is like, no, 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 not them. This group, the group that he aligns himself with. And there's where the ignorance of reparations and land appropriation, it's ignorant. Because folks, listen, every ethnicity is living on land that was not originally theirs to have. It was taken either because the group that was originally there couldn't keep it, or it was fought over and someone lost a war, or in the case of America, and people love to forget true history, the Portuguese, the Spanish, you had the English, you had the French, you even had the Italians over here purchasing land from the Mexican government at that point, especially in the 1800s, once they had freed themselves from the Spanish conquistadors, I guess we could call them. So what I'm saying is that, like, guys, you legitimately cannot go back 400 years and stop and say, well, now we want to appropriate the land to go back to who we want it to go back to. No, go back 600 years. Who was there before you? Go back 1,000 years. Who was there before you? Yet that's my point. It's ignorance. You couldn't keep it then, you lost it. So now we're going to think that in 400 years that you have been past focused, somehow now you can keep it. Because my point is this: if you take land from people who know how to make it produce and give it to people who don't, and I don't care why they don't, the point is everybody's got internet. This is like 2025. I learned how to farm from the internet and asking my dad and other farmers questions. If I can do it, you can do it.
For opening his mouth and speaking his mind about land and white farmers, is now back in the headlines doing it again.
Deputy President Paul Mashatile has pleaded with farmers to stay in the country. This follows a group of white Afrikaans farmers who have been accepted in the U.S. under a refugee program.
I did explain earlier on that there are no land grabs in South Africa. We are working together, we are partnering.
Mashatile, you brave soul. Or maybe just conveniently timed, right? Even though you were almost shot the other day.
I also heard yesterday that the South African president is now begging the white farmers not to leave. Why is that? Why is he doing that? I mean, I thought like they were going to be perfectly okay with getting rid of these farmers.
Oh, what's left of it? We need white farmers to stay, says Mashatile. Oh, now you do. Now you need them. When exactly did you realize that? After the third farm auction this week? Or when you saw another skilled agricultural white family pack their bags and fly to Australia, Canada, and the UK like it's the next season of Farmers Without Borders?
Now you guys know where I got the title for the video.
This is the same government that's been using white farmers like emotional punching bags. Blame them when food prices go up. Blame them when land reform fails. Blame them when it rains too much and floods a few crops. But now suddenly, farmers are essential. They are needed. They are the national treasure. What? I didn't know that. Cue the violins, will you? You can't chase people out of the country with one hand and then beg them to stay with the other. That's downright disrespect. That's not diplomacy. That is toxic ex-behavior. Let's not forget how we got here in the first place. Let's rewind to the years of saying things like, they stole the land, they need to give it back, we'll take it without compensation. Remember that? That sweet revolutionary rhetoric that made for great sound bites and terrifying investment decisions. Mashatile's party, like many others, sang along while the song was hot. And now that farms are emptying faster than Eskom can schedule a new round of load shedding, everyone's like, whoa, hold up. Don't go. We didn't mean it like that. Oh, but they did. For years, they did mean it. White farmers didn't leave because of one press statement. They left because of consistency, consistent threats, consistent crime, consistent scapegoating. Farmers are not stupid. They've seen the writing on the wall since the early 2000s, since Eddie Guerrero was champion. Some held out because the land was all they knew. Some sat quietly because they tried to share their knowledge with God, but eventually, even the toughest tree falls when termites eat at its roots.
The reason he's saying that, folks, is because just like Zimbabwe, you take out the people that produce the food and your people are going to starve. I've heard like the most ignorant stuff about the white South Africans that came here. But just to let you guys know, America has taken over 2 million Black Africans in just the past 10 years. Those are the ones we know about, into this country. But all of a sudden, 54 people with skills are bad.
And now that the agricultural economy is being under the weight of incompetence, now that state-owned farms look more like haunted fields, Mashatile comes with his soft voice and says, "We urge you to stay." Let's call it what it is. Panic diplomacy. Last-minute flattery. It's like showing up to your ex's wedding and saying, "I think we should get back together." You can't unburn the bridge with a press conference. You can't reverse 20 years of hostility, bad policies, and crime with one photo op and a quote in the Sunday Times. That's not how real trust works, buddy. Let's be honest. It's convenient. It's all very, very convenient. Let me explain. Farmers have been raising red flags for years, saying, "Hey, it's getting dangerous out here, guys." Saying, "Hey, we need support. We're being targeted." Saying, "We want to train the next generation of farmers, so let's work together." So what did they get instead? Ignored, mocked, and in some cases, killed. But now that they're leaving in packs and the food security situation is starting to shake, now the speeches start. Now the tears and hugs and promises come out. This isn't a rainbow nation. It's a crisis nation. You can't build unity on panic. You can't ask for forgiveness without admitting fault. And you can't ask people to stay in a burning house just because you realized they had the fire extinguisher. Here's the part that stings though. A lot of these farmers would have stayed. They really would have. Trust me. If the country had their back, they would have stayed. If the justice system wasn't allergic to prosecuting farm murders, if the government treated them like actual humans and not historical villains, if people like Mashatile had said this maybe 10, 12 years ago. But it's too little too late. South Africa's agricultural future is not just in crisis. It's being outsourced. Farmers are now helping other countries, other continents, teaching them to grow maize, how to grow maize, raise cattle, avoid irrigation systems. The skills needed here, gone. Good farmers don't care about your skin. Good leaders, they care about soil. Good farmers care about soil. They care about feeding people, about doing the job right. But bad leaders, they care about deflecting, blaming, and dividing. So Mashatile's words, cute. But they would have meant more if they were said back when it mattered.
And he's right. As a farmer, I don't care what your color is. If you look at this map, it goes to show that in America, look at the amount of minority farmers. The funny thing is, they have grants and scholarships and groups just for them that you as a white farmer are not welcome to participate in and cannot receive funding for. So here I am, a white woman, very successful at the type of organic sustainable farming that I do. I literally could grow food in a desert, folks. I learned that in 4 short years. Yet, I'm not welcome in the Black farmer group or the BIPOC group. Why? Because of my skin color. Now that is true racism. And until we begin to give funding and acreage to people that can instead of people that can't, we're going to have a food problem in this country. Funding for farms should not be based on your skin color or even your gender. But under the Biden administration, we saw both of those in hard play. I was overlooked to go on trips to learn sustainable farming because first-year farmers and transgenders or gays or blacks were awarded that funding over me. Someone who is tried and true, who can and has proven that she can. I was overlooked for someone who wanted to be a farmer, just like he wanted to be a woman, right? Make it make sense. Like, comment, subscribe, because you guys know I'm not going to watch what I say. I'm going to speak truth, because truth is what sets you free. All of this has to stop. You allow people to farm who are the best at farming. That's it. That's all, especially if you want to continue to eat.